you want to start?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time to get this game underway, and what a big game we have. OpTic Nation going up against the new squad of Vitality Storm. I'm Brycey, and joining me for this one is the illustrious Rel.
Thanks, Bryce. And yes, this is going to be a really good game, actually, because it's one of those ones where it's just so difficult to predict who's going to be the winner. We've seen a lot of games so far where, you know, there's been the Call of Duty World Champions going up against the last team, and you can kind of predict which way it's going to go.
It's been straight 3-0 so far on main stage.
Exactly. The only game that I'm aware of that's not been a 3-0 has been the Aware versus TK, which was 3-2 to Aware. So I think this is going to be a very close game as well. We have a very strong European team here in Tommy, Josh. So it's the ex-Epsilon boys with Reedy and Marky B there, very prominent figures in competitive European Call of Duty, going up against OpTic Nation. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with them. Embo's, Ricky, Killer, and Miracles.
Well, let's jump on board, and I've got to, I'm going on board with Killer because he's actually one of my favourite players. So let's see what he does off the break here onto this hardpoint.
Okay, we're going straight for it now, and of course opening up with Biolab hardpoint. That's the way we've been doing it this whole day long. Killer does get shut down there quite early on. It is going to be the first big push though by OpTic Nation. We can see them straight away in circle now. Miracle's doing some work, unable to connect with those kills, but he's got good support from his teammates. But now we are seeing Josh take down 2. That's 4 down, and we're going to see a big push from Vitality.
I'm actually going to switch on board with Josh since he is doing so well here. Just going to try and hold down Ice Tunnel, looking to see if anybody pushes him. His teammates will be looking for that green cut. Reedy is going to be one of the players that tries to coach back. All alone though, and here comes the flood. Reedy manages to stay alive though. Picks off one. Marky B will help him out. Still a player left alive, and Marky B actually gets a 2-piece.
Wow, 3.
And it's Marky B with 3 in the end to hold it down for these guys.
Yeah, 3-piece, 2 of which were melee kills as well, so big play from Marky there. And we are seeing Vitality Storm fight their way into that hard point and secure the majority of the points, so great play from them. Initially held by OpTic Nation.
Oh, almost did Killer there. He got thrown off a little bit by the stun.
Well, as we switch over to Eskies now, it is going to be OpTic Nation in control. So the Americans now fighting back. Josh again, another 2-piece. Josh doing some great slaying work, is going to be shut down. Reedy trying to flank around the back. Oh, and he's just been bobbed and weaved there. Does finally manage to pick up the kill against Ricky, and does fall once again into Vitality control. I've got to say, Bryce, it keeps confusing me. I keep thinking this is Epsilon because you know we're so used to the Epsilon team.
I almost called Marky B TCM Marky because I was so used to being on that squad, but I know exactly where you're coming from. But right now, I mean, that was actually quite a slow push there from TCM, but they kept winning the gunfights. They were outslaying OpTic Nation. It's the reason they got into here, even though I was a little bit worried for them because I thought they were going a little bit slow into this hard point. But they've got it. They're holding it down. Josh is picking up kills. They are outslaying OpTic Nation and getting the points on the board.
Yeah, great play there by Vitality. Marky B just vaulting up now, trying to switch things up and go in the rotation. Only 5 seconds left, but a very dominant lead so far by Vitality. Reedy, I'd probably say, you know, all things considered, maybe the less experienced out of the 4, which really goes to show how good the other 3 are and how long they've competed within the scene. He's doing some great work, though. 10 kills, 7 deaths.
Josh with a little bit of a drop there. He's going to stay alive in this hill. He's on a 4 streak, though. Will eventually be shut down. Tommy's on a 3. Let's jump on board with him. Currently 7 and 4. Nades going out, trying to stay alive desperately. Reedy picks up 2 to try and, but they are going to be in trouble now. OpTic Nation are surrounding this hard point. Tommy picks off 1. Teammates still alive. They are going to now go for this trade. Josh is going to be staying alive in there with his team. No, he is actually outside. Sorry, he's purple. And they will eventually clean this one out, OpTic Nation. Now it's Vitality's turn to try and swarm this hard point.
Yeah, and they've got to do something special. I mean, I know you're a big fan of Tommy, Bryce. You call him the game changer. He is the difference sometimes for the team that he plays in. Competed so long at the top level of Call of Duty. Always finds himself placing in the top tier. Let's see what he can do alongside Marky B now, who finds himself going for the challenge. And there we go. We see that control once again switch towards Vitality, but it's too late.
It certainly is too late there. I know Marky B is going to try and hold down Green Plat. He saw a second one there. Is he going to get it? No. The player went above him. Marky B will eventually clean it up, though they have Green Plat at the moment. Now, they need to lock down side and red. He is going to get taken down before his teammates can reinforce. Ricky, the one bringing the heat here from OpTic Nation.
Yeah, I've got to say, OpTic Nation are really struggling here. And OpTic, of course, one of the biggest, most recognized gaming organizations.
Well, money being Killer stacking.
He's going to have to do something. Killer's up there with him. So here we go. Embo's now is the only one that was in control there. 30 seconds left, decides to actually leave that hard point in favour of going for some kills whilst his teammates rack up the points.
Well, he tried to get the canister and end up getting it as a killer and Embos. And I was actually going to mention this a second ago here. Something I just noticed when they both went up green plat was that they end up looking the same direction in the same kind of way. Now, for me, that's actually indicative of a problem with chemistry. If your teammate keeps looking the same way as you are, trying to do the same moves, that's a problem. You don't need that many guys pointing the same way, and we've got other angles to cover.
Absolutely.
And it actually happened that, just coincidentally happened that Killer then jumped on Embos' head.
Yeah, and it's something that comes through practice and playing together. I know these guys have been doing that a lot, so they just need to kind of sharpen up in this game so far because they are trailing behind, but this is a big comeback now. We can see as we go to the final hard point of the first rotation, it does get breached eventually there by Vitality, but this big heavy congestion is going to continue.
Yeah, the purple is so crucial here for breaking. If you can just hold purple continuously, you really do get the advantage here on this middle bio hard point. Marky B now coming into it. There are players in, and when players get in, it gets so chaotic here in the middle. Players jumping all around. Marky doing so well to stay alive and continuing putting pressure on purple. He is going to get taken down. Surely not. He is just staying alive in this hard point. Vitality will not be moved.
No, and all 4 Vitality players were actually in there at one point, and we can just kind of see OpTic Nation trickling in single final. Finally, we see OpTic Nation gain control. Only 13 seconds left on the clock, but that is still important points for them, given the fact they are behind.
Well, here we go. They are now going to fight for the scrap time. It will be Vitality that will be first into the circle, with Reedy looking to lock it down. They are going to be a little bit outnumbered, and the pinch could go against them here. Blue's been taken. Surely OpTic Nation should now sweep this. They're coming in from every single angle. Embos, Ricky, Merrick's all picking up kills, and they do push them straight out.
Yeah, that was a really great collective team effort there. Massive play from OpTic to actually get that hardpoint back in their control, and they are bringing this back now. That lead is just getting shorter and shorter. Ricky needs to stay alive in this area. He's doing a great job of it. Could have picked up 3 kills there. Only managed to get... Wow, he didn't actually manage to get any as Vitality took control.
Marky B doing a big job here as well. And he's just staying alive. And Marky B and Reedy, these two teams work really well together. And also such a danger on Search and Destroy, the next map that's coming up, is I'd actually like to see this duo kind of last for a little while.
Yep, and Killer, the self-proclaimed best Search and Destroy player in the world, is going to have to step things up when it does come to it. Is having a bit of a rough game here on the hard point.
Tommy's got 2. He's looking for the 3rd there. He is going to see him. He has to slap that reload. He's going to pick it up anyway. The game changer in full effect once again. Picking up a 3 pieces to clean it here. Here comes the rotation, though. They don't currently have it. Tommy needs to make this shot. Does go down. And it does look like Vitality still have a little bit of control, but not as much as they would like. They don't have the spawn they would want. And here comes OpTic Nation.
Well, OpTic Nation could really bring this back here. 2 players on that hard point now. They've got a good surround on it as well. Vitality trying to apply some pressure, but this is a very close hard point game. Just over 20 points separating the teams.
Really trying to do some work there, trying to make a hero play for his squad. Marky B actually ends up killing Miracles by just forcing him out of the window, but look at the slaying coming in from OpTic Nation. They are pushing back Vitality. The points are slipping away second by second, and it could end up with OpTic Nation to hold the lead.
Oh, this is a huge comeback. Some massive plays there from Miracles has really brought them back into this game, and this escalator hard point has been the turning point for them. Now they are still trailing, but look at that. It is going to go neck and neck now. 1-4-5 points each. Vitality had a huge lead.
The Vitality hold on. They don't allow them to get it here, but that has actually caused a late rotation to Blue right in the dying seconds. And you've got to ask yourself this question: was 9 points worth it in the end?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, if Vitality can break this immediately, then yes, it was, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. OpTic Nation do have a firm hold on this hardpoint area. Tommy sweeping in, though, trying to find the second, unable to do so.
Has to get right. Staying alive, though. Good job from him, so his teammate can come in, he can trade the kills. Oh, going to be so many players coming in. It's really going to be left alive. He goes down. Marky B's piled in the hill down as well. Josh comes in to try and hold it. Trades every single member of both teams, jumps into the hill, and finally Vitality will come out on top, but they've been taken away again.
Oh, this is absolutely hectic, Bryce, and it is going to be OpTic Nation that find himself in the lead once again. This is just back into an all to play for still. Marky B just trying to keep it under contest, trying to reduce the amount of points that OpTic Nation can rack up, and he has found himself securing them for his team, and that is going to be a big 3-piece there for Marky.
Oh, Marky B, so much work. Not only did he make that kill and stay alive for the rest of his team to pinch, then got in the hill, picked up 2 further kills. He's giving his team the advantage. He's also going 32 to 23.
Yeah, he's having a brilliant game here, Marky. On the flip side, though, it seems to be more of a team effort from OpTic Nation that's keeping them in this. They have found themselves struggling on this rotation, but once again, we are seeing this go back into an OpTic Nation only trailing by the narrowest of margins.
You see them on the hill. Money B trying to stay alive there. Is going to go down. Comes out now. Miracle comes up. He gets taken down. Ricky nowhere near, and this could be an issue that Vitality will pick up a few kills themselves. if they can manage to pinch this very, very quickly, they need these points to kind of bring it back more or less to equal for that middle hill.
Well, here we go. Killer throwing himself into the gunfight. Doesn't come out on top, though. Vitality just striding ahead a little bit.
Reedy.
And Reedy has gone big for his team, and now that narrow margin has extended quite significantly. 20 points, roughly, with only 1 minute 10 left.
You see now, look at this. They're just trying to bring this slaying up here. Realistically, for OpTic Nation, they have to bring this as close as possible. They're not playing for the win on this hill. They're playing to bring it so close they can win on the middle hill. And I'm surprised to not actually see a rotation by Vitality in there. They have. They've got into it now. Josh, this kill is so critical. Can he make it? He's going to see one kill. No.
He doesn't.
Has been shut out, but his teammates have come through. Really managed to get in here. It's 3 points separating these two teams as both teams pile in here from both sides. Josh is going to come in. Josh is going to get taken down. Miracles get these points back on. It should be OpTic Nation to now slip into the lead here. And it will be just. But look at that contest staying alive. Is really thrown Ricky through the loop. Going for it. Embo's left alive in the hill. It's now OpTic Nation by 2 points.
Oh, Brycey, this is so close. OpTic Nation have taken a lead now. 3 of them have flooded in there. Ricky's providing external support. Josh is keeping it on the contest. But Vitality need to flood them out. It's the only way they're going to be able to take this.
They managed to get it, and they have managed to get the points back into control here. Here comes the push from Purple and Snow. They have to be able to hold this now, Rel. Dying seconds. It slips back just into Vitality's favor. Reedy has to stay alive in the dying seconds as well. One more point. It's still contested. He managed to get a drop kick as well. Reedy's still alive. Going for a second one. Not able to get it. And it will be the dying seconds. And it is just by the tiniest of margins. Vitality will win by 1 point. And you have to say that's due to Reedy staying alive in that split second you can see here in the final kill cam. Here comes the drop kick to the head. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was too much. That was nail-biting stuff and could have gone either way. And you know what, Bryce? You're absolutely right. It did come down to those final seconds. But let's just cast our minds back to when they were contesting in Blue Room and Marky B managed to force 3 of them out, hold it and rack up a few points just by himself. And it was just that single play and multiple single plays that have actually led to that victory.
A little bit of a late rotation actually from Vitality could have cost them there. You saw them push Green Plat with about 10 seconds left. Only Josh went actually in there to kind of push that middle bio hill. That really could have cost them. It was really close. And I said I was surprised that they didn't maybe cut through circle, maybe rotate back around the Purple to push the Snow side. They didn't do any of those things until the last second.
Yeah.
That could have cost them. If OpTic Nation held it out for a few more seconds, it would have been game over.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I feel OpTic Nation were quite unfortunate then because you know, the majority of that game that was in Vitality's, favor. There was a big difference initially. OpTic Nation fought the way back, got themselves right back into it, and at that final hard point, they had the edge, they had the control, and it was just this breach that Vitality managed to make. And really, as we saw him hopping around, just staying alive, just trying to keep it contested because they did have the lead.
Right. Let's talk about the next one here. We know it was a nail biter that first match. I'm sure there's people watching at home tweeting out. Search and destroy, Rel. I want to break this down because...
Yeah.
Right, so most of the time, I'd back Killer. I love Killer and Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
Self-confessed best S&D player in the world, right? Miracles, this team is very good at Search and Destroy. But Marky B, Reedy, Tommy, and even Josh has flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
It's not a weak. If you look individually at Vitality, the actual players are very good. Like Tommy is known as an S&D specialist. Reedy, his KD for S&D is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Marky's been known to make huge plays. Josh basically does what he needs to do, but he has also been, recently for Epsilon, if you cast your memory back to, now he's changing this new roster, also been just a menace.
I mean, for this Search and Destroy, I've got to say, I've got to personally favour Vitality. I'll be honest, I thought that hard point was going to go towards OpTic Nation. I thought they would take that. They've let it slip by just a single point, and in the grand scale of things, that gets forgotten. It's it goes down on paper as a round win towards Vitality. That's all that matters at the end of the day. This Search and Destroy, I can see going to Vitality for that very reason. Tommy's so strong on Search and Destroys alongside Josh, who he's teamed with for a while. Marky B, the amount of time and effort he puts into the strategies and tacticians, he's going to be leading Vitality going into this. And really, we see put up high figures, but you can't rule OpTic Nation out. I mean, the amount of talent they've got.
OpTic Nation, if you took them as a unit, it would be like, hey, this is an S&D team, right? That's great.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not taking them as a unit. I'm looking at Vitality individually. So this is where, are they going to be as polished as maybe OpTic Nation are on some of the strategies? Or the fact that we know Killer's played like tons of Search and Destroy. He loves Search and Destroy, right?
Yeah, and Killer, I would argue of the 8 players that are going to be competing here now, Killer is probably the strongest individual player.
Yeah.
But that said, you can't take anything away from the other guys. I mean, Miracles is a Call of Duty champion,
Yep.
a world champion. He
has one of those rings.
Very
rare rings.
Ricky, incredibly strong OpTic player. Embo's, I watch a lot of his videos online, and I've seen what he can do on Search and Destroy.
You're a Money B fan?
I'm a gaming fan, to be honest. I watch all the videos, so you know. But yeah, so. It's difficult to call, but an unbiased decision from myself, I would favour Vitality going into the Search and Destroy. That's how I see it.
I think that some people will find that controversial, well, if I'm honest.
I imagine there's a lot of OpTic fans watching that will find it controversial, but you know,
I can't go that far with Vitality, if I'm honest. I have to disagree with you a little bit, simply because I know, OpTic Nation is so good. And the thing for me, the killer, the reason I won't commit to saying Vitality or OpTic Nation is because the fact that this is a semi-new roster.
Yeah.
Vitality is a semi-new roster. Vitality, if you remember, played last week with a completely different roster. They had, but I mean, Watson was in here, Petey was in here, Tommy was actually in Epsilon. It's crazy,
all over
right?
the place, yeah.
I can't believe this team will be as polished as they need to be to beat an on-form OpTic Nation squad, but at the same time, individually, they are very, very good.
Yeah, and I mean, if that previous game that we just saw is anything to go by, it's going to be a close Search and Destroy game regardless. One single point on hardpoint, it doesn't get any closer than that, and we saw the lead just changing back and two over and over again. Anybody's game, a single kill made the difference there at any given point, and it just, I've got to say, I feel Vitality were fortunate, even though they did have that massive lead at the start. I kind of felt like OpTic Nation were playing the better game towards the end, and that's why I felt like they maybe should have edged that one. So I feel like this is the time where to disprove me and maybe some of the European fans back in Vitality and show that they can take them down on Search and Destroy, because Vitality on paper is a very strong Search and Destroy team, but so is OpTic Nation.
Well, guys, I'd love to know your opinions. We'll be keeping an eye on the Twitter sphere the entire way through. So remember to tweet hashtag CODMasters. And if you want to tag in me and Rel here, you can do. Rel is _wit. I'm at Bryce-tacular. I'd love to know your opinions on this game. First map went to Vitality. How do you think our OpTic Nation can come back? What's your score results? I'd love to know all your opinions and how you're enjoying the tournament so far. This is the last game of the day on this stage as well. I believe main stage is already halfway through their final game.
Yes, they are running simultaneously to ourselves, and I was just kind of looking through the maps and the game modes there, and this is how I think this is going to pan out.
Okay, give it to me.
I think the winner of this series is going to be determined by the Search and Destroy game. So if Vitality can take the Search and Destroy, I think that Uplink and Capture the Flag will be won by OpTic Nation.
I want to disagree with you so much, but keep going.
I'm going to keep going. So I think Vitality, if they win the Search and Destroy, the OpTic Nation will win the Uplink and the Capture the Flag, and then because I'm saying Vitality is, in my opinion, a slightly stronger Search and Destroy team will take the final Search and Destroy. However, if OpTic Nation win this Search and Destroy, I think they'll then win the Uplink and the Capture the Flag, and therefore win 3-1. So it all comes down to this for me.
You confused me now with what you just said. So who are you Okay, so make them out about who are you picking to take the Uplink?
So I'm basically saying it's either going to be a 3-2 win to Epsilon or a 3-1 win to OpTic Nation, depending on who wins this. Whoever wins this will win.
Vitality.
Yeah. It's I'm so used to saying
I know what you mean. I've done it as well.
Yeah.
I actually walked in and didn't recognise Josh in a Vitality shirt. He's been Epsilon for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you more than I thought I did there. So yeah, I don't actually think Vitality will win the Uplink.
Okay.
No matter what happens. I think that's a man that's gone for them.
Yep.
And that's basically based on the fact that I don't trust European teams in Uplink against American teams.
Mm-hmm.
Which, history has proven me kind of right so far.
Yeah, and I feel I should clarify, because I'm dreading the amount of tweets I'm getting from people telling me that OpTic Nation is a better Search and Destroy team. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that at all. I know they're a really good team, but we'll see what happens in this Search and Destroy anyway. So,
a few snipers out. I'm going to just check what everybody is running for the people at home. So it looks like Reedy's going to be running the only sniper for the guys on Vitality, and I'm going to be watching him off the bounce to see what he can do. Really looking for that quick sniper in the skull. Now, he's actually seen a few people push here, so he may be calling for his team to actually push back.
All right, well, here we go. Still on board with Reedy now, just trying to scout out somebody. He knows that Miracles is just tucked away just outside the garage.
Yeah, Marky's come back. He said, no, that is not viable with the amount of bodies they've got there. And that's why they're going for that quick rotate there. And, that's exactly what I called. I said, as soon as they see that many bodies at school, you really don't want to push it when they have a numerical, that many numbers there. If there's one, then you can consider it.
Yep.
If you hit that cross sniper, there's only one gone through, you 100% rush it. Now, Killer's taken down Marky B.
Okay, so it's a good start there for OpTic Nation, but the bomb has been planted. Time is ticking away, only 30 seconds left on that clock.
Reedy delivers the haymaker to Embos. Can he get this as well? No, he is going to go down. 2 versus 2. Tommy and Josh going against Killer and Ricky.
And it's just a case, as we say, of running this time. Now remember, there is that 7.5 second diffuse, so attackers are looking quite good now.
Oh, he took him. He was on the defuse and he took him. And now
Tommy,
surely going to play this. Tommy.
He should have this. He's left this very, very late.
Oh, it's coming to it. He is going to get in the end. Tommy will play the timer and just wait it out. No trouble there from him. Very, very close there. He had to make a clutch kill there, Tommy. In the end, it was a 1 versus 2. The game changer, once again, proving his worth.
Yeah, and I feel like Killer, he was stuck between a rock and a hard place there. He pretty much had to go for that diffuse. It was the best option given the circumstances, and it could have paid off. I mean, he was probably only 1-2 seconds away from actually getting that.
That was actually, when you watch a decision like that, that was Killer's best option, unequivocally.
Yeah.
If he went for it, he was relying on the fact the guy was going to play time, and if Tommy had misplayed the time at all, he would have been done.
Look at that diversion, and Vitality have read that really well, actually. You could see the tactical grenades there going out towards A.
Oh, Tommy's in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to get away here. He's being challenged. Should actually manage to dip out. Currently, though, numerical advantage to OpTic Nation. And they are going now. Josh will bring that back to a 3 versus 3.
And Ricky now just sitting back, and the gameplay has been slowed down a little bit now. We see these early rushes being made on Search and Destroy, particularly on this map, but when we get into the final minute of the round and no push has been significantly made, things tend to play out very, very slowly.
Josh is lucky there that Ricky didn't see him. I'm going to see what Ricky's actually running. So he didn't have a sniper, so it was a little bit safer there. Embo's just trying to put this one down. He is going to be seen as well. Tommy will manage to make that kill, and Tommy managed to get away as well. How on earth Tommy managed to do that? Tommy picks up a second kill.
Wow, and they're struggling here, OpTic Nation, I've got to say.
Effect.
Ricky's got to pull off a 1 versus 3 now for his team, otherwise it's going to mean a 2-0 lead here for Vitality.
I feel like we might just have to watch Tommy for the rest of this game.
One.
And down they go once more. And this is what I said, right? I mean, OpTic Nation, good S&D team, but individually, you're kind of looking at a bit of an S&D powerhouse in the form of Vitality. Whether or not that'll pan out that way, and whether or not they'll slip up because of maybe lack of strategies they've gone over, possibly. I mean, Tommy and Josh will kind of know how to play. Marky's played with everybody and their dog. So, I mean, Reedy's been flying around for a while now. He kind of came up through Ghosts. So he's actually now firmly established himself as one of the top players in Europe. Yeah,
and I think it's quite an interesting point you raised there. Marky B really has teamed with pretty much everyone at the top tier level in European Call of Duty. So a wealth of experience behind him. This is where he brings his strategies to life because he knows how players play, probably more than anyone in the European scene. So he's doing a great job. It's actually the Tommy show right now, though. 6-0 for Tommy.
Well, he's going to be Killer and Miracles left. World Championship duo, these two. Can they do a 2 versus 4 to not go 3-0 down? There you go, Killer. He's actually trying to put that nade out as well. Josh is going to be left in a 1 versus 4 Killer. And Josh just says, thank you for challenging me on the head glitch. Takes him down. Killer goes down, making Vitality 3-0 in this game.
Yeah, and it's quite a dominant lead here. I mean, combined, all that OpTic Nation have been able to produce here is 5 kills.
Funny enough, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Raul. The point I made at the start of the game was Marky B and Reedy were kind of the ones to watch, and possibly Tommy being the game changer and knowing he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Currently, it's going the other way. Josh is doing damage, but I said he has these flashes of brilliance.
Josh, you know what? I've got to say this. Josh is probably one of the most underrated best players in Europe, and it's quite a strange statement to make. But he's always competed in the top teams, but he never gets the limelight as the other players do. But
he does the dirty work.
He does the dirty work, and he consistently performs well, and he's proven that here today. Still, we want to, I want to see what's going on with OpTic Nation. I want to see what they can produce now to try and get back into this, because again, they're finding themselves, unfortunately, going down for a first pick.
There you go, back to 3 versus 3, but Reedy will actually trade it away against Embos. A little bit of an issue here for me. I mean, Ricky and Killer are so far away, they can't even consider trading. And eventually one of them's going to have to move.
Okay, so you're absolutely right. They are the attackers. They've got to make the push. Pressure does fall on them, and Vitality can quite easily just sit back and wait for that push to be made.
I'm hoping that Killer does the right move here and baits him out. I think that's what they're playing for. Killer's being very, very sneaky here, and you can actually now Ricky's coming towards him. Killer's probably called for him and said, "Look, dude, this bait isn't working. They're not going to push."
It's really unfortunate.
Oh, he doesn't get over it before Josh takes him down. Killer left in a 1 versus 3.
He managed to empty some bullets there into one of the Vitality players, but unable to make the kill. Still, once again, an unfortunate situation for him, and his position has been completely revealed. Time is ticking away, and no one will die. He's just shooting everyone, but no one will actually die.
Killer just being a bit patient here. Doesn't have the time to do anything in this scenario. He's going to deliver a haymaker to Reedy, but will be traded straight away. 4-0 now in favour of Vitality, and I thought this was going to be so much closer.
It's almost just like a punch of frustration there. Like he knew there was no way he was winning the round, so he thought, well, if I can't win this round, I'm going to come and punch you. That's how I'm going to finish it.
Tommy 6-1, Josh 6-2. 0-4 for Money B at the moment. Embo's not really able to perform so far in Search and Destroy, and I'm wondering if it's the fact that I actually think OpTic Nation may be playing a little bit outside the norm here, the way they're kind of being pushing, and the issue with that is that they're hoping to catch a vanilla team of a team with their strategies in place. But I mean, you know what, this Vitality squad's just clicking.
Yeah, working really well together, and it's unusual to see Embo's actually not picking up any kills so far, so having a bit of a rough start to this Search and Destroy. But
Josh will call that out. He's just in 2 players.
OpTic, if there's one team that you can expect to come back and clutch up, it's going to be OpTic Nation. So they are trailing by a significant margin here. Things aren't looking good for them in a Search and Destroy, but you can't rule a team like OpTic Nation out.
So I think the greatest thing here is the fact that Josh is trying to bait and pull players away of OpTic Nation, away from Skull. Here comes the push here. If Reedy can break in, I mean, Killer's just taken down Josh, so it's not worked as well, because now they have to push through. Time will be ticking away. Marky B's gone straight across, and that's actually going to let, who is that? He's going to let Ricky know there are players here. You can even see Miracles is ready and waiting.
Well, OpTic Nation do now have the number advantage, and this is really going to be a good turning point for them. Reedy has actually got this bomb plant down now.
I'm not sure he can get out of here, though. It's going to be so hard to get out. He goes for the challenge mystery. He does go down. It's Marky B now in a 1 versus 4. Bomb down gives him a little bit of advantage, but it's just going to pinch him. They're just going to pinch him, surely. Picks up 1, will go down eventually, and it will be 4-1 now. OpTic Nation get a point on the board.
Yeah, they played the rest of that round out really well. They know that Marky B was left on his own, and you saw 2 players challenge him. On a game like Advanced Warfare, there's no way he's going to pick up both of those kills when they're approaching him from different angles. So, whilst Vitality do still have that significant lead on this Search and Destroy, OpTic Nation finally finding something within themselves to bring themselves back into this game. They've just got to keep this momentum going now.
So the issue for me there was, I mean, I kind of see the tactic they were using for them, and I don't blame the tactic. The tactic was good. The issue I had was that maybe it took a little bit too long, and the clock killed them there as well, because Reedy had to plant, he had to try and get out clean, and it was always going to be difficult to get out clean, numerically disadvantaged. So it didn't work. And like I said, maybe a little bit of speed may have helped them. At least they could have tried to trade, and then they could have figured out their options from there.
Okay, well, let's see what they can do now, because once again, they have managed to get the first pick in this round, and it's so crucial on Search and Destroy. I mean, a big part of Search and Destroy, the metagame, as we've talked about many times, Bryce, is trading off kills. So if you can get the first pick, then, you know, mathematically, if you just trade off the kills, you are going to win the round. So they've just got to stick together now, make sure if one of the teammates falls, that someone else is there to clean up. But that's not going to be necessary, because, you know, when we've got Ricky leaping over the wall, picking up kills anyway, it's looking like they're set to take this next round.
Marky B left in a 1 versus 4 again. Will pick up the first because they're trying to trade it away. Marky B gets the second one, and now OpTic Nation have to consider to back off. He was going to plant that, and now he has to say, oh, hold on a second. It's going to be Ricky and Miracles. They'll be looking for the trade here. They should be coming a little bit closer together for it. Are they going to go and rotate? Marky's going to probably know that this is happening, so he's going to go and check here. Miracles is actually playing in a hook position, meaning that if Marky runs past him, he's going to die. Oh, well, no, Marky made the kill. This could be a 1 versus 4 for Marky if he makes it. Ricky has to plant this bomb now. He's got enough time. That will go down. Marky's going to check this bomb, and then he's maybe going to wait out to see if it is planted.
Oh, wow, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, Marky just had to choose one of the bombs to check. Fortunately for him, it was the wrong one. Can Marky B pull off the 1 versus 4 and the defuse? It would be massive for Vitality. They're going to come head-to-head here.
He's going to see Marky B for the 1.
Oh! And he's done it. Marky B with a 1 versus 4. Phenomenal play for Vitality. He is going to get that defuse with plenty of time. And just when you'd wrote Vitality off, just when you thought OpTic Nation were finding their way back into this series, Vitality say no and take this 5 rounds to 1.
Marky B. What a ridiculous play from him to pick that up in that fashion. And you know what? OpTic Nation, they thought they had it. They had him in a pinch and still got the kills. You saw them have the back off as well. I mean, there were so many opportunities for Marky to die there. They had the player on the flank. It was Miracles. He could have killed him there. They had the pinch. The 1v1. Marky come out on top.
Do you know what I love about the fact that as soon as Marky picked up that final kill, his player just stopped moving for, I'd say, maybe 1 to 2 seconds, and you know there was some sort of celebration going down in the booth.
I was looking around. I wanted to see it. Marky B, though, sorry, picking off again here. Now 7-2. He's on a 5 streak here. Josh is picking up another one. Surely this is the final nails in the coffin here for OpTic Nation, and it should be 2-0 up for Tally if we're being honest. Bomb down as well, even bigger advantage.
Yeah, things really not looking good for OpTic Nation now in this Search and Destroy.
Tommy on the flank. Seeing Killer is going to pick up one. It's now going to be Ricky in a 1 versus 4. Can he do what Marky B did last time? Picks off one, traded away, no good. 6-1 to the guys from Vitality here, now 2-0 up.
Yeah, great play from Vitality there. Really solid search and destroy performance. And, you know, following such a small victory in that hard point, it's completely different to what we saw there. They just look like a completely different team. And it's a massive victory for them. OpTic Nation, I mean, you know, one of the strongest teams in this tournament, just getting shut down by this merged team that's recently formed.
Well, Marky B and Tommy just really were putting. I mean, Josh went 8-4. I mean, really, I said I trying to remark, couldn't read his KD. It was not there this time.
No, and it's I mean, that 1v4 from Marky is gonna stay with me for a while. It's not
often, real, baby.
Not often that you see a 1 versus 4 these days at a big competitive tournament like this, especially not against OpTic Nation.
Yeah, I mean. Maybe if Ricky got that bomb down in time, because obviously he couldn't put it down straight away for that obvious reason of the fact that Marky was coming, right?
Yeah.
If it had gone down, that may be in a very different game. But bomb down, it's almost impossible to clutch if your trial got to defuse. They'll just play the bomb, they'll play the trades. It's almost impossible to win.
Yeah.
But now we're going on to capture the flag here. So this is where I actually see this game ending. I did not expect me to be saying this now, but it's a respawn again. I don't want to say 100%, but I've got to go with momentum now. I mean, that was a whooping on the S&D.
It was a big one, and I'm trying not to have a smug grin on my face when I say that, because, you know, I said Vitality, I've individually, there's such strong search and destroy players, and I know a lot of people would have disagreed and said OpTic Nation are the far stronger search and destroy side, but we saw just consistent performances from them then. However, that said, I'll stick to my original prediction. I think this is where OpTic Nation will now fight back. I can see OpTic Nation taking both the capture the flag and the uplink game and it going down to the final map.
I will agree with you, obviously, because I agree with the uplink.
Okay.
Going to the final map, it'll be anybody's game. The OpTic Nation are all big game players. That's what they live for.
So this is your deciding map now, then?
Well, yes, because obviously if they win, then yeah. Basically, if Vitality win this one, they obviously win.
Yeah.
If OpTic Nation win it, I can see all the going to map 5 and them losing it. It's just, especially the tail of Marky B. That seems to, you know, he's done it a few times and he hates doing it, and it's just kind of guarantee what will happen.
Yeah. So we're going to try and get this started up as soon as possible for you guys back home. It's going to be a really, really intense game because OpTic Nation are struggling against Vitality. And, you know, is there some emotion coming into this in that they lost by a single point on that hard point? I can't help but feel...
I mean, you can't... I know a lot of people like to say this, and it really kind of irritates me. They go, oh, no, they've got a good head game. They're not going to lose composure. It's a human thing, right? Your mind will wander. Your mind will start to doubt yourself. The strongest players, there are some players that are stronger. You look back to the Complexity EG era, that was their strongest point, is that they were never out. It only took a good win for them to get back into the game. I think it's oversaid about some players nowadays. They say about almost every single player.
Yeah.
I think it does have a factor, and I've always thought it's had a factor. Whether or not, you know, you come back, that's how champions are made. That's how games are won, if you can come back in a big victory and kind of get that momentum going. So realistically, what you want to see here from OpTic Nation, and the reason I'm going to go with them on the break, is the fact that, you know, they need this. They need a good break.
Yep, absolutely. And OpTic Nation are going to have to come out hot here to produce something from this. Let's see what they can do. On board now with Embos. Just pushing down this flank, seeing what he can do. Manages to pick up a few kills here. We've said this capture the flag. You know, I'm predicting it to go towards OpTic Nation. You've said yourself you think that Vitality are going to edge this as well.
Yeah, I do think this now. I think it's gone too far for that. But realistically, it's never over till it's over. And OpTic Nation are such a good squad that them coming back is no way near out the realms of possibility, especially with this flag going away here. Ricky almost got away. That will be returned. Josh with a big play.
Well, it's the first big push there being made by OpTic Nation. Here we go. We're seeing Vitality try and answer back, making their own push of themselves. Marky B's actually swept round the back. They need to shut down this flag pack pull, which they have managed to do.
Tommy's kept it alive. Tommy is going to go down. That has now been pulled. Marky B has to play a miracle play out here. He's going to go down as well. And now OpTic Nation will hold on. They have managed to keep that to themselves.
Yep, here we go. Still with Josh, though. And I've got to say, this seems like almost a very slow capture the flag game so far. Of course, numerous kills are being made, but nobody seems to want to commit to this massive push, just in case that they do drop a flag.
Killer has managed to pull, but it has been pulled as well by Josh here. Could be seeing a stalemate situation. He has support of 3 of his players mid-map. Could be a little cheeky player on the flank here. It's going to be Tommy, the game changer, that gets the return. And he's going to look for that second piece as well. It is going to go down, and it's now Reedy, who might be going for a little bit of a sneak pull.
Well, here we go. He's managed to sweep round the back. There is actually nobody defending this flag.
There is. There's one on top of the
Oh,
crates.
there is, yeah. Just camouflaging himself with a red logo. My mistake. And Reedy is going to be able to pick up that flag, but is he going to get challenged?
It's a little bit problem. He maybe should have just run there clean, but no, Tommy's going to pick up a two-piece. Reedy's now going to desperately try to get away. There is going to be a player chasing, and it is going to be Embos. Embos trying to get that second kill. There's so many players. They're just staying alive. Ricky will be able to get this one home, but Ricky's in trouble. Ricky has a player right with him. He's going to go down. It's Tommy once again with a clutch, and he is going to put that one back into his own team space, and he's going to pull it once more. Down it goes. All square. Let's start again.
Yeah, that was a massive clutch actually by Tommy there. That flag was so close to being run home. I believe it was Ricky who actually had it in hand. Managed to get it, managed to get the return, and he knew himself that he was going to get killed following that, but he sacrificed himself for his team.
There you go, see Reedy. He's going to look for this player that's trying to sneak out here. If he gets away with it, it'll be a monster play. Ricky has managed to get it heavily tagged up, though. So many Vitality players around him at the same time. Ricky now looking to try and delay this as much as possible so his team can make the kills. And that's a great tactic, simply because the fact that if he does that, his team will be kind of... it means that Vitality, have to look at two places at once. Have to worry about the players coming up. Have to worry about the fact the flag carrier's behind them.
Yeah, well, still with Tommy now, just taking the underground route. Or route even. Trying to get round and see what he can do. Reedy is going to be supporting him in that same area.
Killer's going to pull a flag here. It means that Vitality have to make a move. Ricky's going to get taken down. Vitality will now pull this flag. And oh my goodness, look at that. Marky B had an opportunity to shut this down, and it would have been huge if he had. Killer now trying to get away with his flag as well. Both teams will have it away. OpTic Nation in a better position.
Very tense moment here. Flag does get dropped. Goes into open play.
Oh, Josh got the return. Oh, he's looking for this as well. Josh still alive here. His teammates will come in here. Big opportunity for Josh. He's going to go underneath. So many OpTic Nation players around him. He may go for a juke. He is not going to get it, and that will be returned again. Neither team able to convert a flagpole into a cap.
Yeah, and it's like I was saying, it just seems to be this cagey play from both of these teams. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are making these flagpoles, but they're not these... Tommy almost there. They're not these overwhelming pushes that we sometimes see. We're not seeing 4 go down. We're seeing sort of a kill trade-off and then the flagpole be made.
Embo's looking to push forward here now as well. A little bit slower burning, I think, maybe from the guys on OpTic Nation rather than Vitality. Vitality seem to just be pulling a lot more often, and then it's kind of up to the fact that they've left a gap in the defense that OpTic Nation are pulling.
Yeah, so, you know, I can see this being a one-flag game, and I'll still back OpTic Nation when it comes down to it, but I can't see this being a high capturing flag game. So Embos is actually making a really convincing run there, does get shut down mid-map. Flag's going to be quite easily returned.
This could be danger time. It will go. Marky Bill now pull this way. Here's Tommy in support. Problem being is that OpTic Nation are coming hot on his heels, and it's been pulled away by Killer. He now cannot run that straight home, and it has been dropped. Killer will have that flag away, though. And look at it, it's still live. It will now be returned. Killer should be home free, and that should be 1-0 to OpTic Nation going in the second half. It all come down to a counter cap.
Oh, and absolutely, you know, there's no way better of saying that. It was literally the epitome of counter captures for capture the flag. I mean, the flag was completely going one-sided there. Vitality had a really good chance to actually capture that, got shut down straight off the spawn, and immediately Killer was really hot, getting to the enemy base, and managed to get one of his own just before half-time as well.
Yeah, there we go. Advantage OpTic Nation. So this is going to be quite a tight game. We saw both teams continuously pulling, both teams relying on a few clutch plays to try and make sure. OpTic Nation did look a little bit stronger, bearing in mind that Vitality had to make more clutches to make sure they kept 0-0 as long as it did.
Yeah, and we were talking about the mindset that players will have after narrow defeat. So, you know, following that 1-point defeat, I want to say as a competitive player myself, but I'm not. But I know, yeah, I know.
I agree with you there, Al.
Yeah.
We agree quite strongly.
If you lose a game so narrowly, you can't just go into the next game forgetting about it, no matter what level of competition you play at. It is frustrating and it does get to you. And the point being that I think that's where the OpTic Nation may have suffered on the Search and Destroy, and I think that's where Vitality may suffer now. They've just lost one flag and they're dying seconds really of the first side of this capture the flag, and it's got to be frustrating for them.
And Bo's trying to get away. Marky B going though. Will again end up getting that return. Ricky stopping the counter cap, but Josh is there to trade it away. Josh will now pull. Has a few members in support here, but there could be a player right behind him. He may end up going down. And yes, Miracles will deliver the haymaker to the face.
Yes, and looking like a very strong start here by OpTic Nation.
Bit of defense from Tommy.
Yeah, I've got to say Tommy's really stepped up as well in this capture the flag. That's not to discredit his work in the other game modes. He's played well in them as well, but I feel like he's certainly been the strongest player in my opinion.
He's just there when they need him.
Yeah.
Wherever they need Tommy, he's there. And he's making the kills that they need him to make as well. Coming in clutch time and time again. And now this could be another pull. Very, very scrappy capture of the flag this. Ricky Tresmu trying to get away here. Not really got the support to do it. Flag has been pulled by Marky B. Marky B made an excellent kill on pulling that flag at the same time, giving him an opportunity to get away. Now, problem being, still OpTic Nation members in front of him. Has a few blockers. Picks up one kill. That flag will be catapulted as well, and that's going to tie the game up. Surely 1-1. Took a little bit longer than I expected. He got stunned at the top of the crates.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get stung there for a second, but he does manage to secure that flag capture, and things are tied up, so all to play for once again. You know, I thought this is going to be quite a low-scoring capture the flag game mode, and I still think it will end that way, but it's going to be one flag that separates these two teams. We're seeing both flags being pulled. And there's only one person left alive, which was Tommy there temporarily for Vitality.
Tommy's in a bit of trouble here. Needs to make this kill. Big kill from Tommy. Trying to keep alive here. He's actually coming against the enemy flag carrier. He makes it. Tommy coming in with a clutch. Once again, holding it down for his team where they need him. Yeah. And somehow he pulled that out. I have no idea how he made that. It should not have been possible. Heavily outnumbered. They knew where he was because he was carrying the flag. Still pulled it off.
I absolutely love it. You know, we were looking at that from Miracle's point of view, but Tommy kind of knee-slided into his face while shooting, like something out of an action film. But Embo's now with the flag in his hands, trying to take the lead.
He's hesitating. He's wondering if there's somebody to get it again. Should get this in. There's nobody that can stop him. He's being a little bit hesitant to actually put it in, and will eventually get it. OpTic Nation go 2-1 up.
And I've got to say, things have really stepped up again. Now, this is a more fast-paced side, I've got to say. Initially, both teams seem to be very hesitant to commit themselves, but now it's all-out warfare, just throwing themselves into the gunfight. You can see kills being made so quickly on that kill feed.
He's going to see one here, but will be taken down by Miracles because absolutely burned. Flag will go down. Josh should be able to put this one home. His teammates trying to get it. No, Josh has gone down, and it has been returned out of the clutches there. Massive plays from OpTic Nation to do that, and Embos is now running.
And he should be able to get this. He could just be caught now on the turn. He has been stunned. Great support from his teammates. It's one person who can stop this, though.
Who is that? Waiting
for him. Jumped in front of him.
Oh, no! The Duke! Comes straight past him, was not able to do it. Embo slowed down because of the stuns.
Oh, I was keeping my eyes on that minimap then. I was thinking, oh, he's going to get caught. I thought he was sneaking up behind him for a melee or something, but completely missed him. A bit of a choke, I've got to say there, by Vitality. But here we go, Marky trying to do something about it and bring things back.
Yeah, Josh is now going to try and relay this, and he's not going to get it in time. He's got no ammo, just not able to get the punch off either. Embos will try to run this one again, and it does look like it could be all over for Vitality on this map. And it's just not going well for them. I mean, they started off very, very scrappy, but, I mean, they've relied on Tommy to clutch maybe too many times.
Yeah, Vitality have really let themselves go here. I mean, things were so close towards the start of it, but this has just gone completely one-sided now to OpTic Nation. I mean, even as we close out this game, even though we're probably not going to see all that many more flag captures, I'll say that.
But one's about to go in. Oh, no, it's been pulled away. Who is that? It's Josh, who says, no, you're not actually getting it. And he challenges, and he still gets it, but he is going to drop, and that will be returned. It is now 4-1, and it is out of the realms of possibility here for the guys on Vitality. A disappointing capture of the flag for them. And it's going to go to map number 4.
Yeah, a really disappointing game there, I've got to say, for Vitality. They held their own for quite some time against, in my opinion, a stronger capture the flag team, but then he just let it slip. I mean, you can see yourself the amount of flag captures that went down towards the latter stages of that second half compared to the rest of the game was so significant, and it was just completely dominated by OpTic Nation.
On board with Killer now. Killer's going to try and put this one home to kind of put it out of the contest, and I said it was very, very close most of the way through that rel, and then once they started to pull ahead, I think Vitality had to take more and more risks. It didn't go their way over and over again, and it just made it a lot further apart.
And I get that, and that's a big part of it. You know, once you are slipping behind and the time's running out, you've got to take those risks, and you've got to, you know, put yourself in these disadvantageous situations where you're going for flag pulls that you normally wouldn't go for. But even then, they were still losing out on the gunfights, and it's sort of strange to see that final scoreline being 5-1 because 2 minutes ago in that game things were pretty much tied up. I don't know the exact time margins on there, but it was just the very final minutes of that game where OpTic Nation really showed how strong they are at capture the flag.
Yeah, and now you got to call it. I mean, I've called the uplink actually in OpTic Nation's favour.
Yep.
So now I'm kind of wondering, is this the decider? Is that going to play out the way we kind of predicted it to? Or is there something special in this Vitality team that can win the uplink? I kind of want to say no. I said from the beginning I'm going to stay with my convictions.
Well, I feel like this prediction is going quite well, and they usually don't for me. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say that OpTic Nation will take this uplink, and then I believe Vitality will take the final search and destroy. But I think it is going to come down to a final Game 5 play here between these two teams.
Yeah, I do think we're going all the way to Game 5 now. I really see that happening as well, Rel. It's one of those ones where you have to go with the numbers, and realistically, NAEU, uplink, you call it NA every time.
Yeah. So, that didn't ring true between Aware and TK. I only caught the end parts of that game, but I believe Aware actually dominated TK on that uplink. I don't know the exact scoreline, but I think it was a significant victory for them. But I do agree with you. In general, when you look at this on a grand scale, America just seemed to be able to flush EU out and dominate them when it does come to uplink. So we'll see how Vitality do fare up here. We've seen what they're capable of on that hard point. Went down to that nail-biting finish. So when these big objective-based game modes, they can do really well and perform. But again, I'm giving this to OpTic Nation. They're such a strong uplink team. So,
well, we're about to jump in this game any second now. It's just the players sorting their classes out, and they should be able to get into it. So let's talk about, if we're predicting this to go to a game number 5, let's talk about game number 5.
Okay.
How would you actually see it going?
So the first search...
This is hypothetical, of course.
Of course, yeah. So if it does go to Game 5, we saw the first search and destroy end 6-1 in Vitality's favour. And in all fairness to OpTic Nation, whilst I thought Vitality would edge the win, I didn't think it would be that significant. So I think it would maybe be a 6-4 victory. I think OpTic Nation are a lot better than what we saw in that search and destroy. But I'm still, regardless of what happens in this uplink, I still think Vitality are going to take this series.
Okay, fair enough. That's a kind of a bold prediction. For me, it's not as clear.
Okay.
Generally, Game 5 is where we see, I think OpTic Nation just would have a very good mental edge. And the reason I believe that is the fact you've got to remember that from going 2-0 up, if, say, like OpTic Nation got a good break on the search and destroy, maybe 1 or 2 rounds, all of a sudden, the dread sets in for Vitality.
Yeah.
They'll be sitting there going, how on earth have we choked this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, Vitality have found themselves in a situation where they were 2 rounds up, 2 rounds in a best-of-5 series. All they've got to do is win a single round. If they drop the capture, they've dropped the capture flag. If they then drop the uplink, their heads are going to be dipped. If they start losing the first few rounds of that search and destroy, we talk about the mind games that are involved in this. OpTic Nation will take full advantage of that. They will just push and push and keep applying pressure, knowing that Vitality have crumbled in front of them.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Raul. I mean, we're just waiting to get into this game here. I'm just making sure the players are actually still in the booth. They are.
They've gone for a break.
Like I said, we would love to hear your opinion on things at home. Remember, hashtag CODMasters. Keep tweeting in, use the Twitter sphere to tell us what you think and how this game's going to go. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like us? Tell us. Let us know through the Twitter sphere. But this game is starting to get underway, Rel.
Yes, comeback uplink, and a really, really important game here for both of these teams. Vitality could close things out now and have a nice 3-1 victory under the belt, or OpTic Nation could really bring this back and get themselves going into that round or game number 5.
Well, let's jump on board with OpTic Nation first of all, and let's actually go on board with... I'm going to go on board with Miracles.
Okay.
Known as one of the the best SMG players when it was come to Black Ops 2 time. He was kind of a bit of an amazing story. His first 3 lands, he won them.
Yeah.
One including the World Championship.
On paper, he was the best player in the world. He was winning every single thing he went to, even though it was a limited amount of exposure that he'd had. But here we go, straight away. Miracles opening out hot. Big 2-piece there for him. And you can just see how much he wants this. He's just thrown himself in there. Very confident play. And it almost looks like immediately we're going to see a capture here. But no, Josh.
Intercepted!
Big interception there to deny them that opportunity. And that uplink drone is going to be reset.
Josh will be one of the players you want to keep an eye out for on here. Very objective-minded. Will step it up in the big games as well. Back on board with Miracles. Miracles getting another kill here. Now 5-1 for this man off the start. Ricky will have control. He's probably going to go for another easy A. No, he's going to go for the alley-oop. Oh, the player missed! The player missed! He will eventually get it. Oh, my goodness. Money B giving us all a heart attack.
That would have been a very, very big choke there. But so far, I mean, very early on, but this is very, very one-sided. 3-0 already to OpTic Nation. Incredibly strong gameplay from them. You mentioned Josh for Vitality, an extremely selfless player. He plays for the win, not for his stats, not for the recognition. He plays for the win for his team. So some credit needs to be given to him. But 5-0
gets it in
already. And,
Monkey B's going to be disappointed with that.
This really does support what we were saying earlier, Bryce. That American teams just seem to have this significant edge when it comes to uplink against Europeans.
It does, and you're going to be wondering when eventually that will stop. And I can only say maybe at the end of the game here, once the European team kind of catch up, and it's happened before in previous titles, the American team seems to adapt to new game modes better.
Can we just watch Miracles? 11-2 at the moment here, continuing his rampage. Such a strong performance. I mean, I'm glad you actually mentioned before the game how aggressive-minded and how strong he was with that submachine gun. He's really showing this. Ricky somehow managing to make quite a bit of ground.
Punched in the side of the head by Tommy, and now Drone control finally in the hands of Vitality. Can they make this into a play?
Well, it's a big pass there and a very long one.
I feel like he may have... Oh, Tommy, look at this. Out juking, going for the easy one.
Yep.
What ridiculous play from him there. The movement to actually get that in against all 4 of OpTic Nation members who were up.
I've got to say that was really good composure from Tommy as well. A 6-0 down, and he could have tried to play for the 2 points, but wisely went for the 1. There's no way that he would have made it. And, you know, relatively speaking, 3 capture carries by Vitality. Would it get them back in
Marky
this game?
B.
Mark has just clutched up for his team. That was going to be another 2 points to OpTic Nation, but
He hasn't,
denied.
and now he's going to push it glass. And they're going to try and make another wave of kills before they even consider putting this one home. Marky B will remain control. They are now swapping, and Reedy and Josh putting it down. Has drone control. Marky B should get this in for an easy 2. And he should put it home, and there you go. And now they have a chance to relay and bring this deficit screaming back. Yeah,
Reedy actually with a big 3-piece there to open things up, but Killer answering right back to go under his belt, make that 3 with a big melee against Reedy, and just all now finding the way, negotiating the way around the map towards that uplink drone in the center. It's going to be Tommy who makes the ambitious pull.
He's now going to probably push into the glass. No, he's going for the reset.
Gets a bit scared.
Yeah, his teammates. He just wanted another gun on the map there, I think, Rel. And he was kind of like, well, we could push this and I could push this glass, but then I'm leaving it in a 3v4 scenario. I'd rather have it 4v4 and concentrate on actually getting these kills first.
Well, I've got to say, Vitality keeping very level-headed despite the fact that they are trailing, but such strong play from OpTic Nation. It's not going to be intercepted. I think 3 players kind of flew across that actual trajectory of the uplink drone, but it is still going to be a capture for them.
Josh trying to take him down with that armor, keeping him alive. Will punch him in the head. That has actually been scored once again, 8-3.
Yeah, and a lot of throw captures being made here by OpTic Nation, just gradually trying to edge this out. They want to get this to the 10 points. They want it to go to mercy rules, and it's looking like it's going to go that way.
They just keep making those easy ones over and over again, throwing them home with accuracy. They just don't miss.
Yeah, and Josh did manage to intercept one of them, but since then there's been nothing really preventing them. It's just been an open run, and it looked like for a second that was actually going to be another capture for them, but you know, I think Vitality are doing quite well to actually keep themselves in this by just letting the full side run down. They don't want it to be going into the second side with less time.
Oh, Reedy tries to do something in the air. They're not actually going to work out for him. And you know what? They're looking to end this before the half here, the OpTic Nation team. They want to make sure there's very little time for the guys from Vitality to come back here. Killer making a shot. He's waiting for his teammates here and just holding off Vitality before they can do anything. Flank also coming, and you see the players going to be Miracles trying to throws out a punch. Not able to do it. Still trying to put shots down. Will eventually get it. This should be the end.
Oh no.
No, Marky coming in with a clutch. Marky with another. Will eventually grab control. Surely now it's all over, and Killer will put it back 11-3. Time to beat, 4 minutes 39.
Yeah, so pretty much a full half to play out there. Just a little bit less off the 5 minutes, but I mean, it's the score difference that really matters here, and Vitality are so far behind. It's going to be difficult to come back from. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of 2-point plays. We saw OpTic Nation go for a lot of throws there.
Yeah.
And whilst, you know, I would always advise not to kind of take too many risks and just play the map out as far as you can. I just think because of the amount that Vitality are behind, they're going to have to go for the carry captures.
Well, here we go. He's going to go down, and now Tommy's going to come through and try and trade this. Can he manage to make the kill? He has. Tommy really just wants to sneak this away, and he actually missed picking it up there. I thought he was going to take it and dip. Did not manage to. Now Marky B has to clutch, and they really didn't want to let that go into glass.
There we go. Well, it's just been thrown out of bounds there. Nobody's going to be picking up that drone for 10 seconds until it does get reset.
Marky really playing out of his skin. We keep saying make those kind of crucial 2 pieces. Has been thrown off the map so far. They're now looking for control. Is going to go down as well. Tommy's in a position to pick it up.
I mean, the good thing about Vitality's side now is they can go for those throw captures. They're quite easy. I won't say easy to make, but easy.
They're bread and butter, as Tommy would say. And Tommy's going to alley-oop it straight in here. Already starting to kind of do this, and that's exactly what they need to do. The 2s make it so much easier for them to just quickly rip this score back.
Yeah, I mean, they can certainly get back into this game, but we can't overlook the fact that it's still a significant lead that OpTic Nation do have. Tommy's trying to do all he can here, just working his way around this uplink drone in the center. But still, it's nice to see OpTic Nation are still going for the captures. They're not just sitting back defending. They're actually just thrown out of play.
Yep.
Really frustrating there for Vitality, because there's nothing they can do when it's in that situation.
There is not. Now Marky is trying to just make these kills here. And this is the problem that Vitality are now facing. They're so drone focused that OpTic Nation don't care. They're quite happy to just keep playing out and just keep slaying around the drone. However, Miracles has broken this now. He is going to go for it. There are 2 players trying to stop him. He does not manage to launch it away, but it's going to be Embos now that has it. And he looks like, I thought he was going to try and jump up top yellow.
Oh, very sneaky.
Oh, so close. I didn't even know what to say there. Moneybones just missed the punch. Tommy now moving forward. He's going to get a hit onto one of them, though. Does not have the support he needed to actually push forward here. Now Marky B and Josh coming through. Marky B drops as well. Josh is going to be left alive. He's going to go down. Reedy's here trying to make some kills. But that should go in now. There shouldn't really be much stopping it. But Tommy has managed to get through. Should be an easy one here at least, unless they can clear it out. Killer's going to drop it home. And that is another nail in the coffin of Vitality on this map.
Yeah, finally we're seeing OpTic Nation get some points on the board for this second side, and I don't know if they can come back from this now. We saw a good bit of momentum being builded for Vitality, but it is looking fairly certain that this will go to a Game 5 prize. Still plenty of time though, but they're going to have to use it effectively.
Tommy getting away, and he's going to go for the one. Clever, as well as he does die, as he manages to go through that jump there. Actually, one of the easier jumps on this game. If you slide jump and go up, very hard to catch you before you get out of there.
Yep. Well, here we go. I want to see what's going on with Miracles. I mean, he had such a good start to this game. He's carried that through. I think he's kind of tapered off from how hot he came off from the blocks, but still performing extremely well.
They're frustrating Vitality so much right now with the fact they just keep playing it glass and playing it out.
Yep, and you know, it's a legitimate strategy. It's working for them. All they need to do is have that lead and run the time down, and that's exactly what they're doing. So very, very clever play from OpTic Nation.
It's forcing Vitality to just massively overextend and just continue to push. And the problem is they have to win all these gunfights because they cannot allow them to even touch the drone.
Well, Josh now trying to do something about that with just 1 minute 20 left on the clock. We are seeing some points being racked up.
Josh.
And
staying
Josh,
alive.
I mean, if Josh can just hold that, I was going to say, if he could hold that area, it really open things up.
Really going for it. Should be able to put that one in as well. They've brought it back to a 3-point game.
Well, hold on a second. Vitality have found themselves back in this when we kind of ruled them out somewhat.
Oh, they're going to throw that out. That's going out.
Oh,
He's so desperate to get it, and he can't. That's now another 15-second reset.
Yeah, and great play, actually, just to throw that in there again. I believe it was Killer actually made that run. He knew full well that he was going to get killed. He just needed to focus on the objective and getting that drone out of play.
This is a bad scenario now. If they pull that and throw it out once more, it'll actually call this game over. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Embos does go down though. It's come on, look at this Vitality pushing forward with bodies. Desperately trying to get this one now. Bodies everywhere here. They have managed to get it down. Marky B should be able to pick this one up. This should be another 2. It should leave them with just 1 point to do it. His trophy system saving him there. No, had to go for the easy A, and it has been intercepted. Thrown away as well. I'm just not sure there's enough time for Vitality.
No, and do you know what? I could see them getting back into this if there were more time.
Can he get the easy one? No. Down it goes. That should be all she wrote. We are going to map number 5.
Yeah, that is going to be it. I mean, I've just got to see if OpTic Nation are going to throw it out of bounds once more just to almost torment Vitality there. Regardless of that, it's not going to matter. We are going to a Game 5, so as predicted, really, Bryce. Maybe not as convincing as we first thought, but still certainly a win for the Americans against the European team on Uplink. I'd love to see kind of, in terms of tournaments and grand events, the overall stats for how often American teams do beat Europeans when it comes to Uplink.
Just based on the top of my head, every single time.
Yeah, it is a huge, huge margin. So certainly something that Europeans need to work on. But yes, Search and Destroy is going to be the final map, Bryce. So we talked about this possibility, you know, when we were going through our predictions. I was kind of edging towards this, so we've discussed this and discussed how we think it'll go. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that first Search and Destroy. Yeah,
I would agree with you there. We're not going to see a blowout, just simply because this is Game No. 5. This is where you play a little bit safer than you might do some other games, especially for Vitality, right? They're going to be a little bit worried that this will be a choke on their behalf.
Yeah. And this is it. OpTic Nation really need to make the most of this. So 2 wins under the belt back to back. So that's got to stand for something. That's got to really benefit them now. And they've just got to, as we say, take that momentum and drive it forward to try and take this Search and Destroy. The only thing we really have to base this off going into this prediction is the previous Search and Destroy that they've had. But you know, it's a completely different map that they're going to be playing. So it's almost like a different game.
You're right here. And then this is the problem with predicting things like this. So we want to go, oh, well, you know, the first Search and Destroy was a massive blowout. This will be as well. Yeah. Very rarely does it ever play out like that.
Yeah.
It's because of how situational S&D is, round per round. You'll have your breaks, you'll have your setups. It's a different map, so maybe they're stronger on this map. For me, it's kind of just going to be who's more in the zone, who's really got the strategies down. OpTic Nation, for me, will be more polished than Vitality. That didn't matter last Search and Destroy. Might matter this time.
How do you feel about the Marky B factor going into this? Because
the Marky B factor.
And when I say that, it's almost like a bad omen in that he gets so close to achieving greatness.
Oh, you're talking about the curse of Marky B.
The curse of Marky B. I mean, in the Call of Duty European qualifiers to actually compete at the Call of Duty Championship when he represented Millennium, again went final map. A lot of people are actually expecting them to take down Infused in that series.
Yeah, but Millennium versus Infused, that was what everyone was waiting for.
And the thing is, it's not the case that he played bad. In fact, I think Marky B probably played one of the best on his team in that final Search and Destroy. But
Marky was MVP for Millennium. Everyone wanted him to go to Championships because of how well he played.
It just seems to be. I mean, not to keep calling out players, but it's similar to Jake. They just seem to get to these final stages. They're such good players, and then just fall at the final hurdle. So, with this potentially being the deciding game as to who qualifies from this group between Vitality and OpTic Nation, it's a very big Search and Destroy. This.
Yeah, it really is, and I generally kind of think that maybe this, like I said, maybe this will determine the group. If Vitality lose, I wouldn't pick them to come out.
Yeah, because just looking at the actual group that these guys find themselves in now, it is Group C, so we've got Envios, Fab E as well, a really strong mix of European players.
I would, if they lose this, I would struggle to pick Vitality against Envious. I'd still pick them against Fab E, but I'd struggle to pick them against Envious.
Well, this is it. I mean, head-to-head, if it does come to it, depends how the double elimination bracket within the pools actually pans out. I personally feel that Envious would beat Vitality and would beat OpTic Nation. I think it'd be close, but I think they've got the edge. And to actually qualify from the groups, you need to win 2 games out of the 3 games that you play. So whoever loses this, I can't see qualifying. Whoever wins this, I believe, will qualify.
So this is where it is. If I remember correctly, Envious beat Fabi earlier today.
Yeah.
Which means that the loser of this will play Fabi.
Yes.
And then the winner of that will play the loser of Envy
versus the winner of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So technically they could end up playing this squad again.
Yeah. And that's kind of the brilliance of this pool play. It's a really good way of playing it because it's like a bracket within a bracket, so it makes it as competitive and fair as possible, really.
And it doesn't end up in a 3-way tie at any point.
Exactly. So that's the saving grace as well, because it can always be a difficult situation when it does come down to that. But yeah, as I say, I think this is probably going to be the most important round of all the group play so far, because this, to me, we can't predict the future, but if things pan out as I believe they should, this is going to determine who comes second in this pool and who's going home.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, and I've pushed the Twitter a lot today. But I'm going to say it again, guys. #CodMasters. Please let us know what you're thinking about. We have just had a small delay as the players are taking a quick break. They are coming back to the booth now. So this game will be up and away any second. Predictions for map number 5. Please tell us who's going to win, who's going to be the MVP, and who's going to be the key to victory here. I'm asking you that, Rel. Who for Vitality and for OpTic Nation are going to be the key players?
Yeah, and I think this is a time for them to really step up. So I think there's going to be an individual player maybe on either side that's really going to stand out and put up some ridiculous numbers like 10 kills, 1 death, something like that. For Vitality, I can see that going to Josh. I put forward the point earlier that he's probably the most underrated best player in Europe, which is a strange category to fall into, but he doesn't quite get the recognition he deserves for the amount of work he does, so he picks up the dirty work, but he's so talented. On the flip side, I mean, when it comes down to Search and Destroy, you've got to pick Killer for OpTic Nation. We sort of say a bit tongue-in-cheek the self-proclaimed best Search and Destroy player in the world, but in the reality of it is he is probably one of the best Search and Destroy players in the world.
And it's curious. I mean, for me, keys to victory here is got to be maybe Tommy. And I actually want to say Reedy. Reedy did not perform well in the last Search and Destroy. Not as well as his teammates, at the very least. But for me, like I said, it's all about that kind of the fact he is known as a very good S&D player. So I actually want to see him step up as one of the keys to victory here. For OpTic Nation, I kind of want to see him, because he didn't have a great start on the S&D, if I remember correctly. So I actually want to see him step up on this Search and Destroy map number 5. Yeah,
I think I don't know what he finished on. I know he was 0-4 at one point. I think he did manage to pull it back a little bit, but. Yeah, it's funny because I think in the other game modes, Tommy kind of takes this in-game leader role. But when it comes to Search and Destroy, this is where this is Marky B's domain, so he captains the team.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this. Like I've heard rumors that Marky B and Tommy have a little conflict at points.
Okay.
With the fact that they're both leaders.
And this, it's a very good point to raise, because when they've competed separately on different teams, they have been
captains,
the leader.
Right?
And it's not a case of, wanting to be the alpha male and show your dominance or anything like that. It's just that's how they play the game. They like to instruct or delegate roles to the particular members. So when they have contrasting opinions, or when Marky B wants Tommy to do something and vice versa, it can cause conflict. And of course, during a big game like this, it could work against them. Whereas I feel OpTic Nation are more of a well-rounded team. You know, they've played together for a long time, good friends as well, as are Vitality, of course. But I feel the chemistry is there more in OpTic Nation than it is in Vitality.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This game should be underway any second now. Like I said, the players are ready to go. Obviously, I think they're taking a little bit extra time. Speaking of the devil, there they go. The game will now start. So, yeah, they probably took a little bit extra time to kind of get on with their classes and get everything there. I'm sure Fizz will be running smokes. We've seen him running smokes before.
Killer.
I'm sure. Oh. I'm sorry, yes, Killer. I'm sure Killer will be running smokes. Yeah. I saw Fizz doing it earlier. I always get those two together simply because they like to play a bit.
Fizz was doing it earlier, and you know, we don't see it introduced that much, which is quite surprising actually, because I know in previous Call of Duty titles, smokes were almost like an essential part of the search and destroy game, but they kind of been phased out a little bit. So all the players wanting to team up and go 8 versus 0. It's Killer taking on 7.
Yeah. 1v7 here for Killer in the first round of this.
He's quite happy with this. He's still going along with it. He's like, bring it on. I can take you all.
So there's a little bit of disagreement over sides.
And it's absolute massacre. Killer is... I was going to say Killer's probably going to end up winning this game if they all end up
That would be down. Killer 1v7. Yeah, I think there's a little disagreement over which side each team was going. Killer seemed happy to go by himself, but the rest of the teams are not so happy.
Oh, Tommy. Just absolutely wreaking havoc there. Yeah, so... you know, Riot Search and Destroy, we've seen one game so far today, or at least I've seen, go down to the final map, which was that Aware TK game.
Yeah.
Aware did come out on top. I don't remember what the final scoreline was, but I think it was a notable... But on the Search and Destroy, I don't know what the round count was.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that one either.
But I think it was a notable victory for Aware. I know Pete was doing absolute work for them. So, I don't know, Riot Search and Destroy, it's one of these maps, I mean, you sometimes see players sit back and kind of snipe over the A-bomb site, but you'll see on the counterpart, the attacking team, someone will just push straight through and go for this really aggressive ASM1 push.
Tommy on this map sniping is just a phenom. It's actually just disgraceful how good he is. We even saw him do the infamous bounce along the middle of the street trying to hit his snipes on the bomb carrier, and then the one he snapshotted up top roof, if you remember.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember casting that with me, right? That was incredible, and maybe you'll see that again. Maybe Tommy will be the factor with the sniping. Can he be countered in that regard? We're going to find out.
I don't know. It's just it's such a tense game, this, and you've got to feel for the players competing here because they know that the pressure's on, and I think they're well aware. As I've kind of advised, I mean, I'm not outright saying that it's going to be the case, but I know that this is such an important game series between these two teams, and it's come down to the final map. So it could essentially come down to the final round, you know, if things are fairly balanced. And it's really a time for players to stand out. If we cast our minds back to that hard point, I've talked about the fact that it's not just a single point that was the difference between those teams. It was potentially a single kill, and that will play on players' minds. They'll think, if I'd have made that kill, we'd have won that game. It's the exact same in Search and Destroy. You come down to these 1 versus 1 situations more often than you would in any other game mode, and it makes all the difference. So
basically what we're saying, this is a coin flip. We're saying this is very, very close. It's almost too tight for us to call now. Going off what we've said previously, and just to reiterate the thinking we're kind of getting if you are just joining us for game number 5, we think obviously the Search and Destroy was heavily in favour of Vitality last time, yeah. But this has been, you know, now they've lost 2 in a trot.
Yeah.
This is game number 5. It's a different map. I don't think we're going to see a blowout. I do think we could even, you know what, the way this has played out so far and how long it's been to get into this, if it's not a 5-5 last round, I'll be surprised.
Well, the thing is that there's been a big intermittence here between the uplink game and this Search and Destroy. So that momentum that the OpTic Nation might have had, where they could have just kept going and want to keep the ball rolling, might have fizzled out a little bit. But in any case, it all comes down to this. So a very exciting game for you guys back home as well. And I'm very excited to actually cast over it and see what comes out. Because whilst I am slightly favouring Vitality, I can't call it. Really could go either way. Well,
let's jump on board with OpTic Nation to begin with then. And we're going to go on board with Killer. Let's go on board with Killer. He's got the sniper rifle out with the thermal. Let's see what he can do with it.
All right, well, and yeah, no surprise there. I didn't think it was going to be the bomb carrier. Does have that PDW as well in hand, but he's going to charge through and just sit back. There's no need to push up here. He's just going to be providing that supporting fire for his teammates.
Exceptional duo going on the flank. Tommy will be taken down. Josh trying to trade it away. Not actually going to be able to see the player, though. We'll be able to see Ricky, though. He's going to kill him. He's going to see that bomb carrier as well. Not able to get the kill before he has to dip out of there. His teammates will challenge. Reedy picks it up, and that is now advantage in favour of Vitality.
Yeah, great teamwork there between Josh and Reedy. Kind of forced him towards Reedy, a bit of a trap. 2 versus 2 though now. Reedy really far back on the map. Not going to be much use there. And this is interesting. I mean, if you just expand that minimap there, Bryce, just for a second, look where the players are. They're so separated from where the actual bomb is.
So very cautious here.
Yeah.
Killer. I wouldn't even surprise me to see them take this bomb and leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite evident that Vitality have no idea that the bomb was down there, and I'm quite surprised at that because the big push went towards there.
Killer, he's going to get taken down. And the bomb didn't even go down, which is disastrous. Mbos could have potentially played that bomb off and used that to his advantage. Now he does not. He has 19 seconds to put this down. This is all but said in name a win here for Vitality on this first round.
Well, I didn't know if they were going to spot him there, but yes, Vitality are going to take the first round. Strong defense from them. And, I mean, we see the A-bomb push time and time again on this map. It's the favoured bomb site, I would say, for Search and Destroy on Riot. You don't really see the B-bomb push unless there's been a lot of kills that the time's run down or a team wants to go for the element of surprise. And it's something that they could really use to their advantage. I mean, if, for example, Vitality now got this B-bomb push, just look where the defense goes by OpTic Nation. You'll see the split here. It's only one person that's going to defend B.
And it's going to be Mbos to do it as well. Reedy's going for a very aggressive push here. Hoping to catch them out there. Tommy gets the first kill as well. Reedy missed every single bullet there and is having to get out of there as well. He does not want to stay. It's just another player though. Reedy just lucks himself into another player, continuing to be aggressive. Bomb down as well. Advantage to Vitality.
Yeah, and really unfortunate not to spot Ricky there. Ricky and Mbos have got to be careful here because they're going to fall behind very quickly. Oh, and it's looking like a very similar story to the previous Search and Destroy here, Bryce. 2 rounds.
I was not expecting this. I was expecting a much stronger start from OpTic Nation.
And it's just not happened. The only kills being made actually by Mbos there. And it's only 2. He's only breaking even himself. So a great team effort collectively by Vitality. And Vitality Storm looking very, very strong, Search and Destroy.
Jumping back onto the team here. Let's go check if anybody's running anything overkill. They're not. They're all running normal guns. And here we go. That, to me, screams are going to go for just standard A push and try to make it work vanilla style.
There we go. Killer just gets shut down.
Big play there from Tommy. He just jumps straight out of the top. It's very risky to do. Pulled it off, though.
And I've got to say, it's quite disappointing Search and Destroy so far by Killer. Would expect more. Miracles and Ricky, though, do need to step up as well and try and support Mbos somewhat here. Because this round is not looking good either, Bryce. They've got, the numbers are favouring Vitality once more.
Mbos does make a kill, though. That's important. He's going to get traded away. Tommy managed to pick it up. And he was in a very good position to do that as well. Should be another kill down here as well. And it will be Miracles picking up Josh. Big shots going down. Ricky's very, very weak here. Miracles, it looks like he might push him, but he has the bomb, so this is going to be difficult for them to actually do anything with, especially with Tommy getting that nade kill. Miracles in a 1 versus 2, coming straight against him. He is now very heavily tagged up. They are going to push him at the same time. Surely, Tommy sees him as well, and Miracles running for his life.
That was a great escape from Miracles, actually, there, just using every bit of the environment to actually find his way
did Tommy
out there.
spot him? I'm not sure he did. He is going to see that Josh there as well, and Josh, he did. Tommy called that one out for Josh. Made sure Josh was aiming as well, and then, you know what, Tommy actually went the other way for a pinch.
Yeah.
So was Marky, sorry.
Time was just way against Miracles anyway there, so we had no other option than to go for the challenge and to try and hunt them down.
Miracles did really well to escape. You were right. That was fantastic movement from him.
He looked out somewhat because the glass window was right below him, and he thought, I've just got to smash through this and run. So he did just that. But still 3-0 now to Vitality Storm. So
the game changer.
Great Search and Destroy play. I mean, if we look collectively over both Search and Destroys, it would be a 9-1 in rounds so far to Vitality.
Well, on board with Tommy now. He's actually going to be playing hook, and by hook I mean he's just going to be holding the flank, waiting for somebody to pass him. Bomb gone down. Advantage Vitality at this point, but with 4-4 up, it's still very, very much either one's game. Ricky, someone's actually gone past Tommy. Tommy's trying to stay alive here. He is going to go down. Heavy numerical advantage now for OpTic Nation. This is their chance to get a round back. Ricky is going to take him down as well. It's now Josh in a 1 versus 4.
And surely this is OpTic Nation's. I mean, we saw Marky B pull off a 1v4, but due to the situation and the way that OpTic Nation had spread themselves out there was no way Josh was going to get that. So finally, OpTic Nation finding an answer to Vitality Storm, getting themselves back in this, and finally winning a round on game number 4.
Yeah, they really need that as well, Rel. It was one of those ones where 4-0 down, we probably should have just actually started packing up and going home.
Yeah, it would have been going that way, because even if OpTic Nation had secured a few rounds, the Vitality would be so far ahead. But OpTic Nation now find themselves back into this game.
Here we go. Miracles is the man we're going to stay on board with first of all. He is going to be pushing middle here. He will come up against Tommy. And Tommy has seen him, and Tommy's jumping all around here, coming down to 1v1 gunfight, and it's Reedy that comes to back him up, making that a 2 versus 1. And already Reedy has picked up another kill as well, a 2-piece for him. This is what I was speaking about. This is the Reedy I expected to see in the first Search and Destroy. He was just outshone by his teammates.
Yeah, and you know, I do completely agree with you there. He's such a strong Search and Destroy player, but so are the rest of the team.
Oh, look at that, another trade here. They're playing this so well.
Ricky's got to do something special. He doesn't want to see OpTic Nation going down 1 versus 2 now for Ricky.
Should probably reload that gun if that clip is to be believed. Could get him in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's got to be careful of that because, you know, he's got to think really here that it's likely that both of the Vitality players are going to be sticking close by. So even if he did manage to pick up the kill on 1 with 13 bullets, he's going to struggle.
It's going to be Reedy. He might see. I think he's just seen a player there, and Reedy's going to call it out. Reedy goes to challenge, and they both just pinch him again. I will be honest here. Vitality are impressing me with their teamwork. You think of how many trades they've made, how much their communications must be on point to be doing that.
Yeah, the first pick is just so important in Search and Destroy because when you do trade it off, you will eventually win. That's all they've got to do, and they've got to stick together. You know, they don't want to be hugging each other's backs because it will make it very easy for the opposing team to pick up a 2-piece, but they've got to stay in a close vicinity so that if one does go down, you can immediately trade off that kill.
I think Reedy may go for another very aggressive push here. He has the trophy system he's just popped. I think he saw a player fire, and there's actually not played out well with him as he's being pushed himself.
Yeah, he's just decided to actually stay back there. I think he was wanting to go for an early plant, but he knows he's been spotted.
Problem with this scenario is the fact that maybe Tommy's playing hook, and the issue with that is that they actually were outnumbered at that bomb site. That kill has brought it back to a 3v3, on the bomb side at least.
Yeah, but of course, the man advantage is with Vitality here. We're on board with Josh. I said that he was going to be one to watch in this Search and Destroy. Only 1 kill to his name so far. It is Reedy who's doing most of the work for Vitality. Josh actually struggling a little bit.
Reedy going in, and again, he will be taken down, Reedy, and that's bomb down as well. It's now going to be left Embos. 1 versus down he goes. Didn't even get a chance to finish my sentence there. 5-1 now to Vitality. And me and you kept saying this wouldn't be the same as the first Search and Destroy. My God, were we lying?
Yeah, it's pretty much going to work out exactly the same if Vitality take this next round, but very convincing Search and Destroy play here by Vitality, and that's, you know, I said this in one of the other games before, these teams are really sending out a message on this first day here, because if Vitality can shut out OpTic Nation with 2 6-1 victories on Search and Destroy makes up 2/5 of a best-of-5 series, and all it would leave them to do is win one of the other game modes, so watch out for Vitality in the rest of this competition, guys.
Embos trying to push forward and help his team out here. Look at that player stay alive. It's Monkey B. How on earth has he still stayed alive here as well? He's just picked up a 2-piece. Embos is the last alive. Picks off 1. Down he goes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be Vitality to take this 3-2.
And it is a big, big win. Both the Search and Destroys there, 6-1. The overall result of Search and Destroy rounds, 12-2. So very strong play by Vitality. It's probably the first thing I've ever predicted right as well, Brian, so I'm quite happy about that. But commiserations to OpTic Nation, such a strong team. And no doubt when we go into tomorrow and continue this double elimination pool play bracket, they are going to stand their ground and advance further.
Well, let's break this down in depth then, Rel. So let's talk about the first way this kind of actually went. For me, Vitality almost had this all sewn up.
Yeah.
And then OpTic Nation, they showed a lot of strength here. It was really them coming back, and to the point where we were wondering whether or not, is this a curse? Is this the fact it could be a massive comeback? A little bit of a choke there from Vitality.
Yeah, but it wasn't to be. It did go down to the final map, so very close between the teams. Hard to separate them, despite the different game modes providing huge different score lines. But it does end 3-2 to Vitality Storm. We are going to wrap up here. That's going to be it from us on the Challenger stage. Stay tuned tomorrow for more Gfinity action.